is the Larry Selman print of the Rangers assault on the Pointe Du Hoc, and that's what this video is going to be about. Very determined when I went to Normandy to get up and have a look at this piece of real estate, and I'm very glad I did. So we'll show you some video footage of it and show you a couple of things that and explain a few of the things that he was talking about while he was taking us through. Okay, this video, beg your pardon, this video is going to be showing you some of the footage from the Pointe Du Hoc. It's also, I'll start it off with just showing you a clip of Ed getting into a thing called a brook, which is basically a two-man bunker. It was those positions, the machine gun positions, which caused the Americans such large casualties on Omaha Beach, not the big Steven Spielberg enormous pillboxes depicted in Saving Private Ryan. Those structures are actually artillery observation positions. There's one up on the Pointe Du Hoc. And as Ed points out, it would be physically impossible to shoot out of the things anyway because they had armoured glass the whole way around. It was there for the artillery rangefinders. So I know Spielberg did a fantastic film, but he had to use a wee bit of Hollywood license. They were filming, I believe, on the coast of Northern Ireland, and you just have to accept they're not going to get everything right. So we'll show you the Tobruk, we'll show you the Pointe Du Hoc, and then we'll have a look at the American Cemetary overlooking Omaha Beach.
Feet tall, taking me as the average crowd, standing bolt upright in here. This hole here only comes up to just about my mouth or my nose. You're simply protected by the fact that most of you is underground. There's no turret on top of this, there's no armour to protect you or anything. I as a gunner would simply stand up here with my shoulders up against the back here. You got the bipod of your machine gun, and you would have originally had a steel lip running around the inside here, which your bipod would have clipped into. You give it loads. You want to change your direction of fire, it's terribly technical. You lift your gun up, you turn yourself around, you put it down, and you start shooting again. This opens out in here like a cone. You've got loads of space around your feet. Your loader is kneeling down here. He's passing up spare ammunition, spare barrels for the gun to keep you going. But I fail to remember seeing a single one of these in Saving Private Ryan. But if you come over here,
Pointe Du Hoc. Very, very lumpy
no,
ground.
they're not. Most of them are actually bomb craters.
Yeah.
Less than 5% of them are actually naval artillery shell craters. The Americans, British and Canadians between them dropped a total of 1,500 tons of bombs on this one site alone between the 15th of April and June 6, 1944. Yet succeeded in damaging less than 5% of the bunkers that were here. Most of the hand grenade exploded down the bottom, another one over here. But there was also a third hand grenade, and I haven't managed to work out the truth, which exploded down here. You can see this chunk that blew out of the step here, which has now been since filled in. All these pock marks here on the wall are pock marks from... I'm going to show you all this in a minute. Come here. Come here, Batman.
Look, can you see?
Exactly. Now, this is what Steven Spielberg thinks a German machine gun bunker looks like. Not only did you not shoot machine guns out through these slits, you couldn't even if you wanted to. If you see this lip here, which is about 1.5 inches deep running all the way around the edge, there was bulletproof glass built into this whole thing here, because on this spot here, the Germans had...
That's what 1,000 pounder does to the top of the concrete bunker. Not a lot. That's where the Rangers came up.
Now, the assault led by the Rangers took place between... back into the plotting room would actually be a very good idea. Now, standing where you are and looking this way, of course none of my pictures are in order, over there. They're under guard with the Rangers here on the left-hand side. Slow down, Batman, I haven't got that far yet. Because you can see this large lump of concrete here, which is the piece down here in front of you. This piece here, which has the crack in it the guy is leaning on, is this piece just here. This piece just here on your left-hand side is that piece over there. But you can see all these guys here clustered around the edge of the cliff, which is just here in front of you. And this big chunk, which looks like a giant, has come along and taken a bite out of the cliff. Is where one of your bombs or naval artillery shells has come in, and instead of falling inland and blowing everything up in the air, it's hit the edge of the cliff and everything has crashed down onto the beach, and it has done this. And you might well look at the pile of spoil here. This is the cliffs here, and you look at the pile of spoil and you go, wow, that's pretty big. Until you see the guys walking on it and you realise it's not pretty big, it's absolutely bloody massive. And you can also see this box here, ammunition or food or something, they're pulling up through this here. From this position here, because it is dug into the cliff, you are protected from any sniper fire, machine gun fire, anything else coming in enfilade from both ends here. There's a ladder running up the middle here. Wall, but they bounced off both sides. This here is actually the top, the roof slab, which would have sat over the top of this. And when the demolition charge has gone off, it's flipped the roof slab right over on its back, where it's over here. It's pushed this wall here out about 3 or 4 inches, not very much. It's only pushed this one here out about 1.5 inches, but it's pushed this whole big lump right out there. The explosion has also travelled directly along the length of the passageway. You can see all the pock marks in the end of the wall over here. There's a corresponding lump of them down here under your feet. But the main thing which tells you that this is an explosion which happened inside the bunker is this crack right here, because this is showing you where the concrete has been bumped out like that from the force of the explosion. And this is why your tax money goes to pay for people like the US Navy SEALs, because you cannot beat one guy getting in with a very small amount of explosives and putting it in exactly the right place to do just the job that you want done, that $250,000 airstrike can manage, because unfortunately the Air Force spend most of their time actually shooting up their own troops. Crater, which even 68 years later is over 6 feet deep. It's taken a massive big chunk out of the wall of the bunker itself, yet the inside of the bunker is almost perfectly intact. And this is one of the big problems. Hitting the bunkers doesn't count. You have to hit them in the right place. And unless you can manage to get your bomb to pretty much come right in through the hole in the front or the back, or hit smack bang dead center in the middle of the roof, the chances are, as you can see, it is not going to do that much damage.
Yeah, this is one picture of it.
William L. Reardon, Jr. William F. Dalton.
Freaky being surrounded by this many dead guys.
Tu vois.
Just to give you some idea of the scale, these graves all the way down here to the chapel, And just when you think it's finished, no, there's more. It's huge.